The absolute easiest way to get started with comms today is GMRS. So today I'm going to show you the ultimate starter kit for GMRS. We're going to talk about licensing, we're going to talk about your first radio selection, and then we're going to talk about a secret upgrade that will supercharge your GMRS radio. So you'll want to stay tuned for that. And this may be a bold claim, but I think GMRS is the best $35 you can spend in emergency preparedness, hands down. By the end of this video, you'll be ready to pull the trigger. But before we do that, please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel grow. So the first thing you need to do to get on the air is be legal. So in order to be legal, you have to have a license. Now this is a really easy license to get. You don't have to take a test. You essentially just have to pay money and confirm that you exist with the FCC. The license covers your entire family except for your cousins, but like your grandparents, your parents, siblings, spouse, children, aunts and uncles, a lot of people. So when I say it covers your family, it covers a ton of people. Your license is good for 10 years. So $35, 10 years, that's about $350 a year. So that's really not a bad price. So how do you actually get the license? I have a link in the description for the guide that I used whenever I first got my license. It's at mygmrs.com. It walks you through the entire process. There are some parts that feel a little archaic, but you are dealing with the government after all. So it's a classic archaic government system, but it's really not that hard. Now, depending on when you file for your license, you're gonna have to kill some time because sometimes it can take up to 2 days to actually become licensed and get your call sign. So a good way to kill that time is, of course, shopping for gear. So let's get started talking about your radio selection. And after we talk about those radios, we'll get into that secret upgrade I mentioned earlier. Before we talk about our radio options, I want to take a quick second to talk about our company, Mad Gear. So we make products which are specifically geared towards guiding you through making your first emergency preparedness plan. So if you don't already have a plan, we can help you with that. We have a contingency planner, which allows you to write down and map out all the different things you would do in an emergency. And we have an app called Ready Plan, which does the same thing, just digitally. So if you want to support us, please check out our products and you'll really help us out. Make sure that we don't get into an analysis paralysis loop. I'm really just going to show you 2 radios today. The 2 radios that I think are the best for your starter kit. Just keep in mind there are a ton of other radios out there, so if you want to go research different radios, please feel free, but these are the ones that I have found a lot of success using, so just take that with a grain of salt. On the one hand, we have the BTEC GMRS V2. So this is a classic workhorse, simple GMRS radio. The price point is around $65. It's not IP67 rated, so that means that it's not water resistant or really dust resistant, but it's simple, it's uncomplicated, and it's reasonably priced. So although it's not going to win any awards for special features, it'll get the job done and it's going to do it pretty much flawlessly. Quick side note, you might be able to find cheaper radios, but the quality and the ability to get the job done is a little more suspect as you go further down in the price point. There are some that work pretty well that are cheaper, but this is the one that I've had the most success with. And I think it'd be cool to mention the BTEC GMRS V2 has a USB-C charging port on the bottom. I found that to be pretty nifty. What can you get for a little bit more than double the price? The BTEC GMRS Pro is the next step up. So I'll show you the 2 real quick. So the BTEC GMRS V2 is pretty analog. You can see all these buttons and a small 2-line screen. When we move up to the BTEC GMRS Pro, you have an LCD screen, you have less buttons, and more digital interaction, which we're about to talk about here shortly. So this radio comes in at $155 a unit, and it's got all the bells and whistles. So not only do you have that nice screen and less analog buttons, but you also have GPS, you have Bluetooth connectivity to your phone, you can do digital messaging. There's a ton of stuff that you can do. While all this isn't completely necessary, it's a huge quality of life upgrade. But the most practical and most important feature, in my opinion, is that it is IP67 rated, so it's protected against water and dust intrusion. If you're set on something that can withstand the elements, I would suggest just going with the BTEC GMRS Pro and just calling it a day. We have talked about 2 options. What we're not going to talk about today are repeater options. We're not going to talk about mobile comms or some of the cheaper options like the Baofeng UV5G or UV9G. There's a couple out. We could do a whole video on the cheaper options, but that's all we're going to talk about with radios today. We've covered the license. We've got our radio options nailed down. What's that secret upgrade that supercharges the radio? I'm about to show you. When you order a GMRS radio, or really any radio, handheld radio, it's gonna come with this junky stock antenna. You need to upgrade to a new antenna. So this is you. This is the guy she tells you not to worry about. I could do an entire video on why you should upgrade to a new antenna and what it does exactly, but for now I'm just gonna tell you what it gets you. So to keep it really simple, you get better range when transmitting and better clarity when receiving. And that's it. It's also plug and play. You don't have to mess with settings, you don't have to do anything specific or worry about the science. You literally just pay money and it gets better. The reason radio manufacturers ship radios with these cheap junky antennas is to save money. So why do the better antennas cost money? Mostly because it's better materials and more attention to detail. The antennas that I like to use personally are ZBM2 Industries antennas. Derek, the owner, is a great guy. I've known him for quite a while now, and almost every antenna that I have on my handheld radios is a ZBM2 Industries antenna. We've talked about licensing, we've talked about the radios you can buy, and we've talked about that upgrade, which is an antenna. If you need help sourcing any of this, I'm putting a bunch of links in the description that'll take you right to the licensing stuff, the radios, the antennas, everything. So it'll be really easy to get started after you're done with this video. But the best way to kill some time while you wait for all of your stuff to arrive is to go on mygmrs.com and check out what repeaters are in your area. You can also download the app Ready Plan, which allows you to get your pace plan in check. This just ensures that your family is all on the same plan for your emergency communications. And lastly, you can help us out by liking, subscribing, and commenting below what you want to see next. Thanks for watching.